Alright, so this is part 9. Yeah, I'm gonna just say just one more story about then we'll can tell the other late one I have, which will make sense. There was I went in there one time and I was doing something. I think I was folding up linen or cleaning. I might have been cleaning. I think it wasn't a long job. It was just something small, so it might have been just linen. And I heard this, because I was very finely tuned to the place. I guess when you're in there a lot over time, and then in there alone as well a lot of the time, you kind of tune in real quick to the environment. I don't know whether that's type of a protection thing, but I could hear an awful amount of extra bangs going on, and I was thinking, what is going on in here? That's so crazy. And it was really weird. It was it was not normal. It was just random bangs. They weren't constant all the time. Bang, 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 bang. It would just be a random bang. Then there'd be nothing. Then there'd be like a bang. Okay, that's it. So I didn't know what that was. So I went to see the security guard and I said, "Hey man, there's a hell of a lot of banging going on in there." And he said to me, yeah, there's a guy in there. He's been in there for like a week, and I don't think he's very happy. So I think he may have heard the banging as well. And in the Māori culture, they don't like to be left alone. They've got a very special way that they treat their dead, and you don't leave them in a freezer somewhere in a hospital. You at least you come and see them. And he had no one, and he had been there, so he was just not happy. And I actually used to feel sad for people that were probably brought up to respect, and to at least go to see them and stuff. So I thought, okay, no, that makes a lot of sense. I wasn't really going to go in there and sweet talk the guy, because if he's banging shit, he's not happy, So I thought, oh, okay, poor guy. But the security guys were awesome. They are top men, good guys. And one of the boys told me that when the people put bodies in there, it's not long before the camera sensor starts going off by itself. He said that it doesn't pick anything up, but the sensor does. Like, there's no film. There's film, but there's nothing. You don't see anything walking through the door, like a ghost or anything like that, or doors rattling or anything like that. And yeah, but the sensors go off. And he said that happened quite regularly, and it's like, it was very interesting, because they ended up being propped up pretty much just not far from the place themselves. Yeah, with the bullshit that went on in that place, and the way they just fucking treated us, I'm surprised we didn't end up down there. Surprised they didn't put us or security down in the morgue, because they were going to put an office down there, and it's like, excuse me? And they're going to put it in between the viewing room and the other part where they get the bodies and stuff. And it's like, what? I said, wait, you think there's people that are going to feel comfortable working in that environment? They just had no brains, There's a lot of European people, mostly European people, don't really think about that type of thing, Oh no, they'll be fine, they won't even think about it. Actually, you get someone else, they may. It's not just white people who work in this place. kind of thing. And it's just you just gotta be respectful towards people and towards the dead as well. So that that's some thick as pig shit stuff. Honestly, just no brains. They've got these high up jobs and earn all this money, but it's just sawdust floating around. It's ridiculous. But you would think it would be a joke, but I don't think it was. Honestly. But yeah. But I'll say one more thing. This isn't nothing to do with spirits or anything. We just dropped someone off, and it was late at night. I think it was evening shift, so it wasn't early hours. And one of the head nurse came down to the mortuary, and we were just coming out, and I don't know whether I waited to see something. I said something, but I laughed. I burst out laughing, and it kind of was quite loud in that compact space. And she'd come through the door at the same time. She just screamed because she got such a fright, and because she screamed, it made me jump. It was funny. People were quite uncomfortable about that place. There were visitors who were afraid to walk past the place, especially especially if there's night shift, because you could only come in one door at night time, so you had to come right around unless you cut through. But actually, I think they shut their door. They locked their door that went through to the second corridor. So you had to walk right around and past the mortuary. If you're by yourself, there'd be no one in the corridor. You wouldn't see anyone. And it was quite eerie, because sometimes they turned the light off where the mortuary was, so you'd be walking past in the dark. And there was a lot of people who were afraid. I don't like walking past here. I've got a family member up here, so when I come in and out, we've got to go past it. And I was like, yeah. So if I was on night shift, sometimes I'd let them out. I let them out the side of the door by the glass door going out into the car park. Just to let them out there, Yeah, this is crazy. But I want to move on from there, and I want to tell you about a story that happened last night. So I was doing prayers with the children. I do prayers every night. They're Christian prayers. That's how I was taught to do it. And Daniel also, he's a Southern Baptist. So it's just appropriate, And I also want to always have that spiritual connection for them and myself as well, because they're in their spirit state. So of course I can do so much for them. I can do all the cool things for them, so they're getting that experience that they want, because that's all they want. They want to just keep living. They ain't ready to give up yet. They're not going anywhere. So yeah, so that means that they know the deal, that if you want that, and I'm your dad, you're going to be going to bed, you're going to be doing this, this. Everything's going to be organised for you as though it's the real deal, because it is for me. They may be spirit children, but in my heart they are just physical children. Like, they're the same. I don't see any difference, but there is difference, of course. But I mean, when it comes to my love for them, they're just the same. Doesn't matter to me if they're spirit or not. The love I have for them just goes beyond that. And yeah, so last night I was doing a prayer. Was it last night? Yeah, that was last night. And I was sitting on the bed with the boys, and the cat, Rascal, was just sitting on the floor, and I felt, swear, this is utter truth. I would not bullshit you. I felt footprints going across my bed. And I couldn't, there was no dip or anything like that, There's no, but I could feel. It wasn't a big person, so it wasn't big enough to make me rock or anything like that. It was nothing, but I could feel the vibration of something walking along the bed. Could have been an animal. I'm thinking it was an animal, because Rascal, the cat, was sitting down by the bed, staring and sniffing. He was like he was sniffing, but he was like, he was pushing his head, his sniffing, doing big sniffs, pushing his head backwards, and he was just staring at the spot where I could feel his feet, and he was sniffing. So I'm thinking, I think that may have been the puppy that the boys have been playing with, Chloe, which is my old puppy. I think that, or it may have been a cat who used to live here, might have been Stinky. It was definitely an animal, it was a spirit animal, whatever it was. Not because I was thinking maybe it was one of the boys walking across there. But it could have been as well, but it was just how the cat was reacting. Just how he was sniffing. He was sniffing, you know? It was really weird. And I just thought I'd mention that. That happened, yeah. Happened last night. And, yeah. So, yeah, I've had a lot of things happen. But I really want to talk about the situation I had. What happened was, I started to enjoy meditating because my head's always crazy and full of crazy stuff all the time, and I was still working at this time, and I'd go through different stages of doing meditation, and I'd stop, then I'd start up again. And I used to love the real heavy ones, you know, the deep ones. I just loved it. I just love that feeling of being able to put my human self aside, my whole self aside, and just feel this utter greatness. You know, I could just I felt connected. You know, but for me to do that, I need to usually have either get a eureka moment, which I do get, and when I do get that, I just freeze and just experience. But it was, yeah, it really did. It really helped me to connect. But I want to do that. So I'm gonna do I'll do the meditating story next. But then I want to tell you about the one when I went to heaven. And I know you're probably thinking, oh God, he's gone real nuts. I said, no, well, just listen to my story and you'll see. Okay, I'll see you in the next